Well, hello. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fine. I hope you're staying safe, obeying the social distancing and stay at home policies that we currently have. This past week, I um, decided to go through the church directory and just start calling and touching base with everyone that I hadn't talked to via emails or texts or Zoom conferences. And I thought I'd just go through and call everybody in the directory and work my way. And I have to first tell you, I don't like talking on the phone. So this is kind of going outside my comfort zone. But in our current situation, we need to go outside our comfort zone. So I decided what I was calling about is I was doing sanity checks. I thought I'd just call and see how everybody was holding up. Making sure spouses weren't strangling each other, make sure kids weren't locked up in basements, just make sure that everyone was try to keep their spirits up and to encourage and lift. Some people only talked with a minute or two, and some people talked to longer than that. Um, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised to find out that most people are kind of in good spirits. Um, Everybody's kind of in the same boat, and they're like, "Well, what really can we do? This is what we need to do right now," and everyone's uh, kind of doing that, and just realize it's just something that it's our normal for now. I don't want to call it our new normal because we will be meeting again. So this is kind of our normal for now. And as I talk to people, they're telling me about missing their church family, missing coming to worship. They talk about who they're watching on Sundays as they watch the televangelists and get their messages that way. A lot of people just explain, no, it wasn't the same. It just didn't feel right. Some people are having cabin fever, which is understandable. Some are feeling a little bit isolated, and that's all normal because God did not create us, didn't create mankind to be isolated. He created us to be in a community together. So feeling isolated, feeling a little bit alone is expected because that's not what we're made to be. We are made to be a social group, a social people. I've encouraged people to contact. I talked to some people who said they've heard from family and friends they hadn't from in years, just checking up on them, and that's a great thing. And this is an opportunity to call and check in on your neighbors and yell across the fence, keeping your 6 foot distance. But as we talk about the community of believers, the community to be together, it calls for a perseverance of our faith. It calls for us to realize that isolation isn't normal. Worshiping alone at home to a televangelist isn't normal. The music may be good, but that is not what we're called to be when we're called to be the community of Christ. I want to read from Hebrews chapter 10, verses 19 to 25. I'm going to read from the NIV, and this is what it says. It says, "Therefore, brothers and sisters, since we have a confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way opened for us through the curtain, that is, his body, and since we have a great priest over the house of God, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and with a full assurance that faith brings, having a heart sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience and having our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." Now it's key there. I like that verse 10:25. I use it a lot. Hebrews 10:25 says to not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. When we talk about gathering as the church body, it is to encourage each other. And we all know people who have fallen away or have stopped meeting together as the church for one reason or another. Some people leave the church because the pastor left and they don't like the new pastor. And And honestly, if you are going to church because of the pastor, you're probably going to church for the wrong reason. Pastors come and go. The church is that stays. So if that's one of the reasons that, the pastor you loved left and the new one that was hired isn't your cup of tea, it may be a chance to, when you see all this isolation, social distancing, maybe you're thinking, I need to get back into that community of God, a community of believers. Some people leave church because they just got lazy. They've even used those exact words. Pastor Mark, I know we haven't been to church in a long time. We just got lazy. That's understanding. But hopefully this isolation and this time being alone realizes that being lazy is not a good enough reason to not commune together with our brothers and sisters in worship. Some leave because someone said something that offended them, or said something that was politically incorrect, maybe was rude to them, maybe asked you to move because you sat in their seat, because we know there's people who've been sitting in the exact same spot for 30 years, trying to get that pew to conform to their butt, and it's their spot. If you ever seen The Big Bang Theory and see how upset Sheldon gets when someone sits in his spot, then you kind of get the idea how sometimes people get when somebody sits in their place in the pew. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying because that's how sometimes people react. I just want to tell you something, though. We are an imperfect people. I know that shouldn't be shocking, but we're humans. We make mistakes all the time. And just because you come into a church doesn't mean humans suddenly become perfect. We are an imperfect church in an imperfect community filled with imperfect people who sing songs imperfectly as our musicians play them imperfectly. And we come together to worship the only being that is truly perfect, our Lord Jesus Christ. So if you've given up community of believers and not coming together and worship because one person or somebody said something that offended you, realize you can get offended anywhere you go because our world is imperfect and it's filled with a bunch of imperfect people. Our mantra as a church is be a difference maker. Our goal is to strive to make a difference, to make an impact, but we fall short. We make errors. And I have another little slogan that I want to show you or tell you for anyone who's maybe considering, because I'm hoping everyone who's watched these videos, if everyone I've called and touched base with, I'm hoping they're all thinking, you know what, I need to get back to church. I need to get back to hearing about Jesus Christ. I need to be in that fellowship of believers. And maybe they're considering giving our church a chance. I just want to tell you, everyone's welcome, but one group of people. And I'm going to tell you who they are. No perfect people are allowed. If you're perfect, we're not the church for you. Because, like I said, we are an imperfect church in an imperfect community filled with imperfect people. So if you come here, not everyone's going to say the right thing. Not everyone's going to do the right thing because we do make mistakes. But we come together as a body. And we come together in worship. You can come and listen to an imperfect pastor, do an imperfect sermon, hoping his ADD doesn't kick in so he gets distracted by anything. Because perfection was only for Jesus Christ. He's the only one who lived on this earth without sin, without error, without mistake. And that's why we come together to worship him. So I hope everyone who's watching these videos, I invite you to come and worship with us, come and join us, come and be part of it. We will be getting together again as the community of believers. And keep Hebrews 25 in your mind about not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing. I think sometime in our life, all of us have been in the habit of stopping to attend church one reason or the other. I'm not saying when you come here, we're imperfect, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I love the church family we have, and one thing social distancing has taught us, if there is someone that you come here and that slightly annoys you or rub you the wrong way, you can stay at least 6 feet away from them and say you're practicing social distancing. It can continue to go on even when we are meeting together. Because with a group of 100 plus people, not everyone is going to get along with everyone. Because we all have our flaws, we all have our imperfections, we all have our slight things that annoy us. If you've been staying at home, you probably can tell everyone in the house with you what they do that slightly annoys you. But that doesn't make you leave the house and kick them out. No, we come together as the believers because that is how God made us. That we are to be a community in worship together with Him. So I encourage everyone to stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Obey the stay-at-home policies, knowing that we will be together soon. I invite you to invite your friends to watch the videos, to touch base, and invite them to come and join us when we're able to meet together. As long as they are not perfect, we love to have them. In God's precious and holy name, this too shall pass, and we shall be together, praising and worshiping our all-powerful God. Again, be safe. Take care.